that if there was a friction between them, it could not have really been initiated by a chef singer. It is much more likely that her sense of insult was really felt by Conrad, and I think that David described that very, very well. In one sense, I think this program does a wonderful thing because it tips the scale a little bit in the reverse direction, paying more attention to Conrad and introducing Singer as the other great Yiddish writer in his work. And I think that's appropriate. Since this is a little bit of an informal gathering and a kind of a familial gathering, I thought maybe I would also begin with one personal memory, a very wonderful memory. When our first child was born and was a maid, we decided to have a pidyon haben. Like David, my husband and I had grown up as I guess one would call traditional Jew, secular Jew. We were sent to a wonderful lady Zionist, white-slave labor Zionist day school. We didn't have, in our family, of course, Pesach was celebrated, Hanukkah was celebrated, but we did not have a deep, deep religious tradition. And nevertheless, we felt so grateful. We wanted to do something ceremonial. So we decided to have a pidyon haben, which, as you may know, is the ceremony of redemption of the firstborn son. The parents buy him back or redeem him from service to the priesthood, which is mandated by the Bible, by symbolically giving 5 silver coins to a Kohen, who is a patrilineal descendant of the priestly tribe. Now, the person we knew in New York, who we invited to meet the Kohen, was a publisher, and he said, "You don't need me to come up to Montreal. Bashevis singer happens to be coming to speak that evening. In Montreal, why don't you ask him to the Kohen?" So I wrote to Bashevis, and not knowing him, and I wrote to him at the forward, and he sent back a very sweet letter, and he said, yes, he would accept the Kohen, and he wrote, "Hadam Yiddish, go up from this Kohen, or the what Kohen shot was upon a mitzvah." I'm not among the highly observant, but one thing to perform a mitzvah. So he came, and it was really odd. We had this in our home. We had a very small apartment. It was crowded with members of our family. It was so intimate. Everybody who was there was a reader of Bashevis. Certainly my parents read him in the book. When he walked in, he kissed my hand. He had these Polish, Polish sense of what a gentleman did. And he was quite awkward. No matter how much one went over to him and tried to make him feel at home and all the rest of it, awkwardness is a really part of his personality. And the most wonderful thing was when my husband and he had performed the ceremony, and my husband had gone out to the bank and gotten 5 silver coins. That was the moment he didn't know what to do with them. And he went around asking Leila Ravitch and asking, what should I do with these 5 silver coins? We had never looked beyond the ceremony. So we said, keep them. We didn't know, but it's just this betwixt and between this that I think characterizes all of us. The truth is that we didn't feel betwixt and between. We grew up as we grew up. We felt perfectly rooted in the way of life as Jews that we had to live. But for him, I think that he felt broken side of the world, of what he had grown up with and what he had come into, and for him it was not natural. We accepted this as a new natural kind of Jewishness. He keenly felt the disjunction, and in his writing, as Bill said, he specialized in drawing attention to that injunction. So, Bashevis, most of you may know, also I don't have to tell you what his life is. It's very easy to Google him and to read about him in many wonderful ways, and there are full-scale biographies about him and others which are going to be written. Bashevis, which was his Yiddish pen name, and incidentally how he signed the note to us, Bashevis, he started out as a realist. Now, in the early 1920s, and in this he was bucking the modernist trend of his time. Everyone in the Yiddish world at that time, many writers in the Hebrew literary community at that time, was looking for new ways to express the weirdness of Jewish life in the wake of the First World War that had seen cities and countries changing hands, and in the wake of the Russian Revolution that was forcibly setting out to change human behavior forever. And also, given the rise of Zionism, these declarations, the Balfour Declaration, which gave fantastic hope to Jews and the beginnings of Jewish national sovereignty, really in that declaration, through that declaration. So the writers at this time, his contemporaries, Moshe Kulak, Yisroel Rabon, Peretz Markish, and his brother, his older brother, they were all experimenting wildly. You read their writings, what you see, most of them are an energy of experimentation. Bashevis was programmatically realistic. He wrote about it. He really cast aside, and that, by the way, is something that he had in common with the guys. As prose writers, they were both realistic, and they wanted to create realistic situations with which the reader could potentially identify. And though he always sought out weird situations, extreme situations, he wrote descriptive prose and he told stories. And his fiction always hung on a very firm and absorbing plot. And if you want the simplest explanation for his success as a writer, it was not magic. And he didn't put anything over on anyone. I think that his success as a writer was his insight into the pleasure of the plot. The reader wants to know what happens. He wants to be caught by the first sentence, by some sense of, gee, I wonder what happens next. And that was the kind of literature that Bashevis provided, in addition to much else. But that was, I think, what was at the basis of it. If you have attention to the good plot, then you have a good story, and that is really what I think you get over and over again. Some of them are less good, some of them are truly inspiring and great, but this is something that they all have in common. So take just one example. The stories gathered together in my father's story, the Cotton-based Sheen, described by the author as an attempt to combine memoir and fiction. It was a form he came to like very much and returned to over and over again. And from the very title, I think you can see what I mean, how he understood this art of storytelling. Here are some of the titles. The Sacrifice, Why the Geese Shrieked, A Broken Engagement, The Suicide, The Secret, and so on in that vein. And they're all written in memoir form from the angle of the youngest son in this household of a rabbi. The boy's father is a rabbi, and the boy's mother is the daughter of a rabbi. Of course, this is based on his own biography. Now, the father is a rabbinic authority for a densely populated section of Warsaw, and his major function, for which he is paid by the people in the community, his major function is to act as a judge, to render judgment on cases that are brought before him, all kinds of cases. The Beit Din, as Bashevis describes it, was a blend of court of law, synagogue, house of study, and, if you will, psychoanalyst office, where people of troubled spirits could come to unburden themselves. Now, were these the I am not sure, and we will never know. The reason that he said memoir is fiction is because it allowed him to collapse what he really remembered with things that he was inventing or drawing from elsewhere. But the amount of memoir and fiction allowed for invention on a scaffolding of remembered actuality. And by the way, I think what David said about Chaim reconstructing Vilna is absolutely and identically the same as what Bashevis wrote about and said about his own attitude to Warsaw, which is where he spent his formative years. Now, that's not where he was born, but that's where he spent his formative years. Warsaw. And just parenthetically, when we once, I was privileged to be in Warsaw on a trip with Professor University, and we met with writers, Polish writers. One of these Polish writers said, the writer I most envy is Bashevis, because he said his reconstruction of Warsaw is unparalleled in Polish literature. The way in which, the liveliness with which he reconstructs pre-war Warsaw is something that he says he does not find in Polish writers. So, in fact, we have two writers here who are reconstructing, it says, very different aspects of East European history. So, this story, A Gruesome Question, is fairly typical. It opens on a Sabbath evening with a description of the rabbi as follows, sitting with the men of his congregation at the closing Sabbath meal at Shalosh Studis, and for a page and a half, there's a description of the psalms the men were singing around the table, the kind of teaching his father was doing with them, and the harmony that radiates through the home. And it's all seen from the perspective of this boy who's standing on this particular Sabbath evening. Fresh snow has fallen on the ground outside. It seemed to take on a special look of brightness. Frost palms blossomed on the window panes, reminding me of the land of Israel. Now, you can understand that it's very unlikely that the boy really reconstructed that situation with that memory, but that's the scene he sets for us. So that when the man opens the door, as many of these students start, the boy's mood is beautiful, pristine, and the Sabbath really contrasts even more sharply with what happens. Enter the petitioner, who changes the atmosphere. He was not like an ordinary pauper, but like an old storybook beggar. And here is the question he asks. Rabbi, may a man sleep with his dead wife? Strange silence ensued. I felt a chill go through my body. The men turned pale. My father's face froze. I did not understand what they were talking about. My father finally snapped. And then the man explained. He was not insane. His wife had died on Friday the day before. The funeral would not be until the day after on Sunday. He had sat up all night with the corpse on Friday night, but he felt that he could not sit up with her. He could not sit up another night. And there was only one bed in the cellar basement, which was filled with rats. He could not put her body on the floor because it would be eaten by rats. And he could not sleep on the floor because he would be bitten by these rats. So he was asking the rabbi whether he could sleep in bed with his dead wife for that one night. The story ends, and you see us turn 180 degrees. So at that moment, everyone charges into action. These men who are there, the mother brings food to the kitchen. The people take up a collection of food. Somebody goes to find a cot for him, and then they accompany the man to his home. And the author, the little boy, says he goes with him, and he describes enough of the scene to convey the starkest poverty that one could possibly imagine, and that existed in that neighborhood. Everything makes its way into the story. The information that Jewish men and women did not ordinarily share the same bed, that the squalor that one sometimes finds in large cities is rarely found in small towns, that the help a community can extend in such an extreme situation cannot eliminate the fundamental problem of harm that is distress. So the perspective is always the child who is trying to figure it out, trying to puzzle out the strange ways of the world without having to take responsibility. And this is the way it ends goes to the end of the story. I was torn between two conflicting emotions. My fear dictated that I turn my eyes the other way, but my curiosity demanded another glance. I knew that I would take for each look nightmares and torment, but each time anew, I leaned forward to see this living grave. It seemed to me that I could see all kinds of evil spirits and sprites romping around this unspeakable place. They assumed all sorts of fearful shapes. Can a person survive in such an abyss? Can a man confined to such a sordid place keep his sanity? I suddenly felt a tightness in my head, and a mighty shudder ran down my spine. Could it be that he who dwelt here is himself a ghost? And as you were saying about God, the ship's finger is how to avoid any sense of sentimentality. How's it going to end the story? Not with asking this is actively citizen, but with this sense of distancing by saying the boy, whenever he saw this man acting on the street, was so terrifying. That's the shock of the influence of that poverty. So those questions are a Bashevis finger trademark, characteristic of each and every one of his novels and each and one of his adult heroes, who were formed all by a traditional upbringing, and not just a traditional upbringing, but the most wonderful, the most inspiring, the most morally uplifting Jewish tradition, and then they go out into the world and they can't live that. What they have is this question of Spinoza and others really are in them. So these questions are at the heart of the tradition, and increasingly so at the time of the narrative. Now, one of the things that I hope to dedicate myself to, but partly because I started to look for this in small ways, is fascinating to compare in my father's court with Chaim brothers, my mother's family. And they form almost a perfect counter-image of similar, if not identical, conflicts. Chaim does exactly the same thing as Bashevis has placed memoir and fiction in a series of chapters, organized in this case, not about the image of his father, who died when Chaim was in his early teens, but of his mother, who was her husband's second wife and much younger wife, and who raised him as an only child. Like Bashevis, God wrote about a world that is no more, and that would have no existence, he knew, beyond the depositions of writers like them. Like Bashevis, God found in his parents this much higher level of integrity and ethics and morality than he would ever encounter in the secular world in which he came. And what he does is, he's much more poetical than Bashevis Singer. His organizing principle is to organize all these chapters around Sabbath. Separation from Sabbath, his place on Sabbath. Now, Yiddish literature has done a great deal with Sabbath. And when we think of the Sabbath, we think of that sacred space, that place that is described for us, the way time stops. I mean, it's one of the things in Judaism that one can become most poetic about. But this is not God's idea. It's much more down to earth than that. His mother and he lived in a very poor circumstance, not quite as poor as the one that Bashevis describes in that form, but they live behind a smithy. A blacksmith has his shop in front, and they have a little room in back that they share. And then he describes Sabbath in the way his mother works for them and teaches them. So just here's just one small episode. In one memorable scene, not the whole story, just a scene, the mother is burning up with fever, so her son is staying home. And she's exhausted from her preparations for Sabbath the night before. So she hallucinates. She's so sick she begins to hallucinate, and she recalls the two little daughters that she had lost, one in infancy, the other at the age 6, when Chaim was 9 years old. So this is the daughters. But when the child died, the mother sent Chaim across town to her sister, who was a prosperous woman, and the 20-year-old Chaim of this chapter still recalls the stinging shame of this grudging reception that his aunt gave him. The sister had just died. The mother sent him over there because she had no food, so she wanted him to be given something by the aunt. And the aunt was so tight one, just a tight one, she really begrudged him even the food that she gave him. Now, the mother, instead of venting her anger in this hallucinatory moment, suddenly is consumed with guilt. Why? Because to support her son in the following week, she had temporarily gone to work for her sister, and now she confesses to him, to her son, that she stole some food from her sister for her child and for her husband, who's still alive. And she thinks that her son may have resented her for having left the house to work instead of taking care of her sick husband at home. So finally, Chaim, the story, can stand it no longer, and he loses his temper. He always loses his temper in the stories. He's true to his own personality, and he shouts at her, "You're driving me crazy! You're a pious woman. Don't you know that on the Sabbath one is not permitted to mourn, even if someone very close has just died and was not yet buried? Father used to tell me that in all his life he had never seen a woman as devoted to you, and yet you're always looking to find fault with yourself. You're ill. I'm going out to find a doctor." And he goes out because he can't take it. So on the one hand, what he gives us is a picture of goodness, of the goodness that in a sense Judaism has inspired, but that is embodied in multiple ways. It is a Catholic. I mean, it's an inspiring work. But on the other hand, he tells us that this is an intolerable burden, and burden of large one, because he became subject to the same habit of self-determination, including about how much his mother sacrificed for him. So it's interesting that in his writing, he describes his, he says that he became who he was because of his training in the Musser movement. But in fact, I think that if you read this, you see that the Musser movement was not made as the crucible of his conscience and his personality. The father was extraordinary figure of his mother, whom he chooses to be the ultimate embodiment of that aspect of the saintly, I suppose, I would say yes, but still a saintliness which is not lived in that kind of beautiful halo, the father of saintliness, which is exaggerated and which leaves her at the mercy of her own guilt and exposes her son to the same. So, and I could go into much more yet, but I think that you see here that these are two writers who are obsessed with moral action, with its role in literature. Two writers who are obsessed with bringing to life the families and communities that would otherwise be doomed to oblivion. Two writers in America testing their powers in a language they know is eroding. And yet they lend themselves husband, Bashevis Singer, also wrote a book called Lost in America. He also felt lost. But I think that they could not help but to compare us, American Jews, to the Jews that they had known. The fervor, the goodness, the commitment to things, the seriousness, the moral earnestness. And here, during the war years, American Jews were trying to get along the best they could. Like today, how much moral earnestness is there about what's going on in Israel? Like, oh, well, they can take care of themselves. It was very destructive. Why what they found in America, but they treated us very kindly. Bashevis Singer learned how to build a persona, I think, of mockery. Built a persona of laughing it off. And when he was interviewed, you got to see those interviews. He parried. He never took seriously these people around. He always made it out, that he was a good Yiddish. He knew, for example, that he would be asked about Yiddish, and he developed a stock answer. With this, he would finish all his talks. I heard him speak countless times, never talk which did not end with a question about Yiddish, and with him giving pretty much the same answer. One is that, in the world to come, Yiddish will be the language of ghosts. Another was that there are going to be so many graduate students, and each graduate student is going to have to write a dissertation. So you know that there are going to be theses written about him and about Yiddish literature forever. But the main thing he was saying is, my translators come to me and they complain. They say, Yiddish has so few words for poor men. That's for poverty. It has beggar and pauper, or maybe indigent. But in Yiddish, there was such a richness. And he would pour forth this torrent of Yiddish equivalent, the Orama, the Evi, the words out of Nisros, the Barshviller who had gathered away his money, the poorest church dolphin, the once wealthy Yore who has lost his fortune, the Bettler and the Schnorrer who have turned their poverty into a profession, the mistress over a head of cabbage, the Glenn, shovel and poker, or, this was my favorite, Parkiti Parkamsor Pesa, Erlanisha Bashiko Coin. Use Passover because he doesn't have enough for his once of bread. So it was always good for a laugh. And in this comedy of inversion, American prosperity is put to shame by the inventive abundance of Jewish poverty. So, on the one hand, I think Singer grew more cynical about America and about American Jewry, but he learned to exploit its weaknesses. And he tried to avoid having it contaminate his art. So he could make fun of the Yiddish synonyms for poverty.